DNVR Draft Pod. That's right. Live from the Toyota Lounge, baby. Presented by Raising Cane's. It's bringing us our draft coverage all summer long, all off-season long. Order online at raisingcanes.com or through their mobile app, Raising Cane's. Chicken fingers, one love. Let's go. Got to get that tagline in. Fellas, how are you doing? Lovely to be back. Henry, why are you looking at me?
I'm just worried that you didn't tell Raising Cane's that our draft coverage is going all summer long, did you? Because that could be in for a rude awakening.
Do it. You know, I've done it before. I'll be draft potting with these guys all summer long. We'll talk about 2026 long-term trends. Yeah, why would I pronounce it that way?
I should. All summer long. Draft season.
It's draft season, baby. We're ready.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to respond to that.
I thought Henry had more for me, frankly.
No. We covered it.
Full-fledged mock draft for us today. Hank, you could have given me a heads up that you guys were going to do this on the big pod today. I kind of feel like we came up with the idea before they did.
We certainly did.
And just
when did we plan?
Not a peep from you.
I realized the conflict last night, and I was like, what am I going to do? Redo one of these whole shows? People love mock drafts.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we're not just going to replay another. We have a whole nother mock draft tomorrow. That's not too many.
Okay, so Broncos mock tomorrow. Very excited to do that one. Tune in. That's right. Bonus draft pod this week, which is a beautiful thing. But that's okay because we are true ball knowers. We will not stop at 12 picks into our mock draft. We will do the full 32 because trade ups in play, staying puts in play, trading downs in play, trading backups in play. I want to explore all these scenarios as we go through the first 32. Got some draft props lined up and everything. Over 7.5 Pac-12 players to go in round one, by the way. That's my lock of draft season.
Over?
Hammer away. Yes, sir.
The Pac-12 is the best conference there is. It's a shame it's going away, but here we are with the over on the players.
I don't.
Last year was a good year.
Last year was a good year. I wouldn't
another
say the best
surprisingly good year from the Pac-12. It's always so surprising.
I mean, it was the best year ever.
I feel like there's been
the best year ever?
2 and 7 seasons.
Pretty much. They made
surprising.
the
2 and 7 seasons?
Yeah. 2015 and this year. The rest pretty underwhelming.
We don't need to go down this whole road.
Would be a wonderful.
The Pac-12 is always so surprising.
I'm not sure that's the case. There are some late risers. Anyway, 7.5. We'll prove it in this mock. We start with the first 3 picks. We're not going to go through one by one. What I want to ask you is, are we locked into the exact order? Caleb Williams 1, Jaden Daniels 2, Drake May 3, which is the one the betting odds are giving us as a big favorite. Or are we going off that? Jake.
Caleb,
Jaden, Drake.
I think we roll
plus
with it.
110.
I don't know how deep these props get, but I think top 3 QB is a lock. It's just the quarterbacks I don't know.
Top 3 all quarterbacks. I'd go as far as top 4 is locked in. Caleb, Jaden, Drake, Marvin.
Not Neighbors.
That's right.
It can't be Neighbors. It's a lock.
That's what I'm locked in on.
It couldn't be Minnesota trading up for Drake May.
JJ McCarthy, yeah, that could happen.
JJ McCarthy,
that could happen. But I think that happens more 5-6.
Okay.
You disagree?
No,
That's
I
Please,
mean,
what do you
think you're
the
probably
exact top
right.
4 order is?
But I mean, lock is tough. I'm not sure about lock.
Yeah, I mean, we're
Favorite.
14 days out, so to proclaim locks is pretty bold. But I feel like this has happened the last few years. We talk ourselves into things not going chalk, then draft day comes and it's chalk.
I mean, the big question is, what does Washington do at 2? And what is that relationship with Daniels? Because there's some reports out now that the visit didn't go very well, and he's allegedly, locked in on wanting to play for New England. Does that cause Washington to potentially shy away? Does that allow a move? So, I mean, I would say as of now, 14 days out, that definitely feels like the most likely outcome is the 4 you laid out, and especially with those QBs going 1, 2, 3. I will say it does feel like Washington is kind of a question mark at this point in terms of who they're actually going to end up with.
Yeah, and there's a lot of newness there, right? So when we don't have a track record,
Right.
it's always harder to really establish.
Yeah, I mean, new ownership, new coach. I think that they could take a quarterback, and I think they'd be. I think if they like Drake May enough, they'd feel comfortable taking him there because I think they know that this franchise is not anywhere close to winning. This
The
year, or next
Commanders,
year.
you're
Yes.
leaning more Drake May?
Well, if they don't see themselves really competing this year, why would you take the older quarterback in Jaden Daniels, who is definitely the most ready to play guy from a traits and from a just ability standpoint?
I mean, it'd be the skill set, it'd be the upside.
Yeah.
I don't see. To me, Drake May is a cleaner prospect, safer prospect than Jaden Daniels. To me, that's a clear hierarchy there.
I'm not as high on either of them as many people, so I don't know.
I wouldn't call Drake May safe.
You guys seem against my lock prediction.
Bet365 has Marvin at number 4 is minus 175.
That's what I'm saying.
Favorite? No, okay. I mean, lock, though.
Well,
I mean,
again,
they're saying like 60-40.
I think
Yeah,
top
no,
3
strong
quarterbacks
favorite.
is a
65-35.
lock.
Okay.
Top 3 quarterback, I agree, is a
Yes.
lock.
That's a lock.
Has to be.
That we can definitely agree on. The order, still a little speculative,
So-
but what's Jaden Daniels at 2 overall?
I mean, there's the McCarthy buzz.
So what's the second most favorite order? Do you have that
It's
ready
smoke
on there?
screen season. Caleb, Drake May, Jaden.
Is the second most?
Yeah, that's plus 200 versus plus 110.
At
And
number
then-
2, Jaden's minus 150. Then
So-
Drake May plus 130. JJ plus 600.
Yeah.
They're saying smoke. That's just smoke. No fire.
So the book is pretty much saying it is.
The book's locked in.
Yeah.
The book's locked in.
I trust the book.
Pick 3, Drake May minus 110.
Here's the thing with the book.
There's a little JJ buzz. There's a little JJ buzz.
Also,
Yes.
Jaden Daniels is second, though, plus
Yes.
160.
With the book this time of year, it's kind of what you guys are talking about in terms of coming back in the NFL draft, working in cycles. This would have been the top 3 5 months ago after the season.
Caleb,
Probably-
Jaden, Drake.
Yes.
Yeah, once Jaden's got that Heisman, that kind of was the vibe.
Yes.
Agreed, Justin?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he had all the, especially November, just with how it played out and like him kind of being the only, however you want to call it, star in a year where a lot of the guys that you thought would be in the mix kind of played their way out of it.
They did.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a good point. A lot of times the draft does just look like a mock that came out in late December.
yes.
Well, we talk about that all the time, though, in
Yep.
November, and it's like
We do.
we're going to debate this so much over the next 4 or 5 months that, the narratives end up going full circle a lot of ways. You can talk yourself one way or another if you have the debate enough. I mean, last week we're talking about wide receivers. Jake had Neighbors one. I had Odunze one. Most of the world has Marvin Harrison Jr. one. But if we sat here and talked about it for another 3 weeks, you could probably get me to go full circle again and
Right.
land back with Marvin at 1. That's what makes it fun. But also, like, kind of trust what you're seeing, and what we saw this year. Those are going to be the guys. Those are going to be your top 4 guys.
Yeah.
Yep, and Marvin at 4.
Yeah.
Like I
wait,
think it extends
So
past
no
the-
JJ?
No
We're
JJ.
convinced? No? Okay. Okay.
You believe JJ will crack that top 4?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Totally right. It's
Like-
the draft. Nothing should surprise you sometimes.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Because then we get to 5. So our mock currently is Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels to the, I almost called him the canceled name, to the Commanders. Drake May to the
Pats.
the Patriots, the New England Parrots, as I'm looking at my abbreviation, and the Cardinals get Marvin Harrison. At 5 is where the whole top 10 hinges on picks 5 and 6 and this trade up scenario. I want to start by approaching this by asking, is getting pick 11, 23, and a future first a good enough return for the 5th overall pick in a draft like this with at least one top quarterback still available, 2 of the top wide receivers, every offensive tackle still on the board? Is that a good return?
I don't love falling out of the top 10.
I think falling out of the top 8, honestly, once you miss out on one of those 3 top wide receivers, you're going down a tier.
Yeah. And Alt. I think
And
Alt. I think Alt, Neighbors, Odunze, to not get any of those is going to be tough when you have the 5th pick.
I agree. Even Bowers you could throw in there, I think.
Yeah.
Again, going back
You
to
might be
what-
able to get him later.
Look at a mock 5 months ago. Bowers is in the top 6, 7-ish. Easy.
Exactly.
He is. You're exactly
But
right.
if you trade down from 5 and you get Bowers at 11,
Yeah.
then you're feeling pretty good about it.
For sure.
Because then you still got the one in the 20s. You've got a rookie quarterback playing for the Vikings, filling for Kirk Cousins. What, they win 8 games last year, 7 games? There's a chance
Yeah.
that's a top 10 pick.
I think that trade hinges entirely on you counting on it being a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think if you get Bowers at 11, it's a good deal.
That's a pretty safe. I mean, that's a good division, which feels weird to say.
It does.
Yeah,
But you feel pretty good
Bears
about
are
Green
good.
Bay's future.
Bears.
Detroit's obviously established at this point. And even Chicago, if they do hit on this QB, the rest of the roster, that's not a typical number 1 roster.
I mean, you're really counting on that. You're really counting on that. I think in some crazy way, like a team like the Broncos, who might just be bad for a couple years, their future firsts, probably more appealing. And you get multiple future firsts.
Probably more appealing. I mean, the Vikings were worse than the Broncos this year, though. That's why they picked before them.
Who's
But-
more likely to trade down, Chargers or Giants?
Giants. Or
I don't. That feels like Harbaugh would
That's a
be
weird
down
one.
for that, like to build the trend, especially like get another O lineman.
Yeah.
I mean, that feels like classic.
You get 2 linemen in the first
Yeah.
round.
I'd side with the Giants as well because they're just desperate. There's so much going on. You might even need another quarterback option.
that.
So just having more draft capital is
Yeah.
going to help.
Well, and adding any one of those guys, I don't know if it really matters for a team like the Giants. It's
Yeah.
like you
Well,
have so many holes.
Giants just lost their best offensive player too.
Yeah.
Also true.
Like they need help.
Yeah.
And if you're sticking with Daniel Jones, which I guess we'll see, that's the decision I think you have to make at 6. But if you're trying to actually build a franchise, build a team, if you're the Giants, I think I'd want to trade back.
I like
Especially
that.
get that pick next year.
I
like-
think there's a compelling argument there.
Yeah. If you do wind up, I mean, the Vikings have to be worse next year than they were this year, right? So it should be a top 10
You
pick.
think?
And if you have a top 10 pick, the Giants also are going to be worse next year than this year. You should have 2 top 10 picks. If you have 2 top 10 picks, you need a quarterback. You're going to have plenty of flexibility to go get a quarterback. Seems like a foolproof plan, other than the fact that the team sucks.
I mean, they're
Giants are
punting
who
on this
were-
year, but
Sorry, J-Mac.
no, just I think I think what Hank's saying makes a lot of sense, but also it means if you're the Giants, you're basically just. I guess we'll see what happens with Daniel Jones.
You get one more
but
chance, Daniel.
It's accepting. like,
Surprise literally everybody.
yeah, it's just kind of kicking the can down the road.
It
We'll
is.
deal with it then.
I mean,
That
if you're
is
going to
true.
suck, why not throw out your quarterback that you already paid all this money to, that you're already committed to,
No,
then try and start
that's
again?
what I'm saying. I think it makes sense. The logic is there. I'm just saying
Yeah.
you're just accepting
Right.
like this
Yeah.
is we're not going to be a good team, and maybe that's the smart move to do in
Yeah.
a division like theirs, anyways.
Yeah.
Could even trade down, but still, Brock Bowers might be there at 11. And if you're the Giants, you trade down, you get Brock Bowers. Say you get a lineman in the 20s,
Right, right.
23. I mean, you could still make. I mean, you're gonna suck regardless.
Brock Bowers on the Giants feels like when you see those memes and it's like a Maserati in like next to a shack or something like that.
The one where it's like the what is it, like the Bentley or something under like
yeah.
Giants is who we're going to do the trade with. You guys got to decide who the Chargers are drafting at 5. They've gotten rid of a lot of wide receivers. Joe Alt feels so Harbaugh-y. So Harbaugh-y.
Yeah.
But I think we can all agree you're not doing a mock right if you're not projecting a trade up in the top 10. It's just going to screw you up.
Definitely.
And it's going to leave you where you get to the 9th, the 10th, 11th, 12th pick, and it's not going to line up. It always lines up when you have Breck Brewery in your life. We were just there earlier this week doing some live pods. We will be there doing our draft party. We actually just put this out on Twitter at the Breckenridge Farmhouse. We'll be there. Todd's going to be there. RK's going to be there. We're going to mingle, get together, talk Broncos. Raising Cane's is going to have some swag for us. Breck Brew's going to have stuff. The farmhouse is gourmet food, and we're selling tickets $15 for our draft party, and that's with a beer and burger included. And, of course, if you're a diehard member, you get a discount on top of that. So check it out. Go to DNVR Broncos Twitter to get your tickets right now. And, of course, go to breckbrew.com to find a brew near you. Always a great time. Breck Brew, they're just the best, man. We got to get the whole squad out having some farmhouse grub here soon. And then, of course, bringing us draft content all off season long. Henry, I hope you're ready to deliver those 20 film rooms I promised them. It's Raising Cane's, man.
Wow.
The goats.
Tell me all I need to know about Raising Cane's, Henry. Favorite sauce?
I'd probably go with the Cane's sauce.
It's a pretty easy answer with Raising Cane's.
It's a pretty easy answer.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, nailed it that time.
Texas toast, crispy, tender.
They're chicken fingers, remember.
Chicken fingers.
Here's a proof move. You take the chicken
So
fingers,
good.
you put it on the Texas toast, you put a little cane sauce on there, you make yourself a little sandwich.
Ooh,
Nobody needs
sando.
coleslaw. You throw that out, you ask for an extra Texas toast,
Wow.
make yourself a nice little
Oh my
sandwich.
goodness.
Shout out to Raising Cane's for cooked-to-order hand-battered chicken fingers. Race into Raising Cane's, turbocharge your chicken fingers, and get them even faster by ordering online at raisingcanes.com or through their mobile app. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
I love that
love.
so much
Wow.
when you go like fast CTA on us. Are you guys rip the fingies with your fingies apart to take little bites, or you're just taking me and J Mike
I'm
and
not a
I as we
squirrel.
do that.
I thought you were talking about your actual fingers there for a second with what you were doing. I was like, what is this guy getting at?
That's what's great is that's how I'm like Jim Harbaugh levels crazy that Jake would just assume that maybe I am talking about eating my own fingers. Who are the Chargers drafting at 5? Are you feeling neighborly or are you saying alt 1 second?
Joe Alt.
Bang.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah. I would take Neighbors.
I look at this wide receivers core, man. I don't know how you pass up on a guy like
we're gonna
that's
have
the
a
thing.
split. Damn it, we're gonna have a split.
Seriously, look at you got Quentin Johnston, Josh Palmer, Darius Davis, and Simi Fehoko. That's it.
But you just watched Jim
they need-
Harbaugh
they
at
need
Michigan
one.
for
They need
what,
one.
6 years?
I know. But
What
you
is
got,
his bread and butter?
Of course, I completely get it. But
They do have Rashawn Slater.
they do have some pieces on the
Trey
offensive
Pipkins
line.
on the other side.
But you got a quarterback. You got something to work with at quarterback. You got to get him a weapon.
You
So
got
the
protected.
Charger, I mean, I do think again, go back to Chargers being prime
They've
trade down
invested in
candidate.
this.
Like, you might be able to add a lineman and a pass
Pure
catcher if you
needs,
do
I
it right.
agree. Wide receivers the bigger need, but if I'm thinking Harbaugh and how does he want to
That's the
establish
thing.
the new foundation of his Chargers regime, alt is who.
I will say this, Harbaugh talking about it so publicly, that does feel kind of smoke screeny. I'm going to talk about the trenches so much, and then we're going to draft a receiver.
What if you do both by adding a tight end? Plays in the trenches, goes and catches passes. Brock Bowers,
so small.
so small. That's my cop-out answer, though. You can't decide between those two. Maybe Bowers sneaks up.
The Chargers don't have a running back either. I don't think that they're really too
They should
worried
probably
about the. I'm not saying take a running back. I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying look at this
Plus
offensive
2,000.
line. You add another piece in Joel, who I think we all can say is a premium piece on the offensive line. But honestly, how much better does that make you next year when you're throwing to Quentin Johnson, who looks like a first-round bust already?
What do you think?
Yeah.
What if,
Poor
though,
Jose
Joel
with a
is
great
just like
comment in the
McGlinchey?
Toyota chat. Joel could be like
With that
McGlinchey.
really tall, like, he just has a high ass.
Yep.
Like, when you look
Yep,
at him.
high ass.
Like,
Yep.
like, if you just want him to get knocked back
Hashtag
over and
analysis.
over again.
Yeah.
There's a little...
There's some knockback in there.
If Mike McGlinchey didn't exist, I'd be like alt all the way. Which just is...
I think there's
Mike
a little
McGlinchey
fool's
does.
gold to alt. We
There
are
might be.
going alt, though. Giants trade
Alt
down
the
to
way.
11 with the Vikings here at 6. And they take J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there you go. 4 quarterbacks, 1 offensive tackle, 1 wide receiver, and Tennessee is on the board with a lot changing over. They just made the Calvin Ridley trade, right?
Right.
They're betting on him. And
They still have Nuke.
Titans, yeah.
Titans, yeah.
they
And who do the Titans go with? A lot of mocks giving them Joel. He's off the board here. Would they take advantage of these stud wide receivers still on the board?
They could use one. I like Fuaga there.
Little tone setter?
He just I mean, I get maybe I'm still probably thinking about the Titans a little bit through the Vrabel mindset,
Right.
I guess,
I am-
which might
I
be a
have
little
a
bit
very
flawed.
hard time separating myself on that a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
I can see Fuaga. I guess for this pick, you question just how much do you believe in Treylon Burks in year 3?
New regime.
You're
Stock
down?
down. Oh, he's not good.
yeah,
don't think
no,
he's
new
good either.
regime, I think, does not believe.
So I think I can get another wide receiver. I don't think that they're going to run with, they shouldn't keep doing this. This is what the Titans have done for forever. This is why they traded A.J. Brown. They just figure you can replace these guys and go to free agency, get a Calvin Ridley, something like that.
It's time to take care of Will Levis.
It is.
Give him Neighbors or Odunze, I say.
That's what I always say.
Odunze, better fit.
Yeah.
You don't want 2 small guys? Go Odunze,
Uh,
get Odunsed up.
Levis throwing to neighbors downfield does feel like a good fit, though, just a speedster over the top.
Bombs away.
That is
Yeah.
kind of what he did best in those couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have Ridley to kind of work the short/intermediate. You've got Nuke, who's just a...
Neighbors. Hank?
I'll go Dunze. Just
All right,
spice things up.
It's neighbors. Like, we're at the 7th pick. We can't keep doing this. Okay, neighbors at the 7th pick. At the 8th pick, everyone gives the Falcons Dallas Turner. Skepticism there. I'm not so sure. And if a guy like Odunze is available, I think that could very much be the pick.
Falcons love them some flashy skill guys.
Kirk Cousins all in.
Yeah, they have invested in this receiving core a bit, though. I don't think it's anything to write home about. Darnell Mooney, Rondale Moore,
Yeah.
unless you're going crazy over them still.
Drake London.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. Do you really need another receiver in this spot?
Bijan Robinson. No, you
I
don't.
like
You
the
don't.
Dallas Turner
You
pick.
don't.
I like the Dallas Turner pick. I think this team needs pass rush.
The other need would be corner. Could you see the top corner go ahead of Dallas Turner, the top edge out of Alabama?
Yeah, I think the thing we've talked about Turner is I don't know how high that ceiling is in terms of I don't think he's a generational pass rusher. I think he's going to be a really good NFL player.
Yeah, no, I mean, you watch him, he reminds you of guys like TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, and I would agree. I don't think the ceiling is quite that high.
I thought both those guys had higher ceilings coming out.
I mean, Watt went significantly lower.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm thinking TJ.
Yeah.
I think Dallas Turner. I had this pick in our mock draft, and that's where I went. I think
Dallas
like
Turner
the offense.
settled.
The offense is kind of set.
I love it. Chicago here is very, very happy with that Dallas Turner pick.
Yes.
Very happy.
Yes.
Rome Odunze pick.
Yep.
Easy peasy.
He can't fall out of the top 10.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely
Who's
agree.
their third receiver now? They've got DJ Moore and Keenan Allen.
They traded away Mooney.
Trade away Mooney.
We'll look it up. That was something they
It
did recently.
is Tyler Scott or Velas Jones.
Yep. Definitely Odunze then.
Yeah. You need that badly. Brock Bowers at 10. Is that a pick that's too obvious for the Jets? I think offensive tackle could be in play in just about every pick we've touched on at this point.
I think they give Rodgers a flashy weapon and try and basically be like, we'll do for you what Green Bay never did.
Is that Bowers?
Yeah.
There you go. And we get to the Giants at 11. At this point, Henry, how is this top 10 panned out from a Broncos perspective? Top 4 being locked in. 5, you see Joe Alco to the Chargers. The Vikings trade up to 6 to take J.J. McCarthy.
Yep.
Tennessee takes Neighbors. Dallas Turner to Atlanta. Romo Dunze to Chicago. And the Jets take Brock Bowers.
I mean, I think it's gone horribly because they're going to trade up and get a quarterback. Like, if you're sitting here without a quarterback, like, you're just, to me, you're kind of cooked.
Without one of the top 4 quarterbacks.
I think you probably consider the draft a loss. Like, I like Penix. Like, if they take Penix here, I'm happy. But in general, I think that it would be a disappointing day if this is how it plays out for the Broncos.
Interesting.
I don't think Quinyon Mitchell, if they draft anything but a quarterback, there's basically going to be riots. And if they draft Bo Nix or Michael Penix, there's going to be riots. I think you could get behind trading down. Do you not feel that way? I guess
No,
I just
I
get
think
so
that's
locked into
completely catastrophizing the whole situation. I think that actually, like, long term, you should build and not have to press the argument and go all in, and that you should kind of construct a roster with a little more patience and plugging some holes and adding guys who are good long-term fits. And
I don't disagree. I just have the Twitter mentions every day of the people saying, if they take another damn cornerback, I'm going to lose my mind.
sure, I mean, I could see that.
Yeah. And those are the people who are rioting.
Moving down, I think, probably makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what market there is to move down if the top 10 pans out this way. And we got to figure out what the G-men do here at 11.
Yeah.
I would say my top candidates would be, I don't know, the next wide receiver, a Brian Thomas of sorts. They could sneaky be in the quarterback market. Offensive tackle, there's lots of value. Fuaga, Fatanu, Fashanu, Latham.
Somebody like LA interested at 19 and moving up potentially for like maybe you're willing to take a flyer on a Bo Nix.
Byron Murphy or someone like that.
Yeah.
I do think if we go back to the book, the Bo Nix lines are interesting because while he may be projected to go to the Broncos for the book, the feeling is if that projection were to hold, it's a projection not in the top 12.
I don't think you can take Bo Nix with the top 12 pick.
You can't.
You want to expand on that?
I've just watched a lot of Bo Nix over the years.
No, I know, but like for the audience who maybe hasn't followed him for 5 years.
I just think it's one of those. I as I've said time and time again, I just don't necessarily believe in what he did at Oregon is going to translate. Like I just don't think he has shown enough in terms of having to make throws in tight coverage that are not just, height, quick read to the flat, just a little quick slant. Over the top. So much of that system sets you up for success. You have so much speed at wide receiver. I know he made great strides in terms of his decision making. Like, he is not the quarterback that was at Auburn, and I give him a ton of credit. But man, the top 12 just feels so rich for a guy like him, who you are just banking on him doing so much more than he has proven to be able to do at this level.
He's really good at doing the really easy things. And then on top of that, he had some spice with some off-script stuff too.
He's a good athlete.
He's an athlete,
Yeah.
I mean, I look at his time. I know it's
And what I'm saying is fair. Yes.
yes.
Oh, no, I agree.
100%.
I would
Dre
touch him in
seems
the first
skeptical.
round.
No, I mean, yeah. the tough evaluation is how high is Bo Nix's ceiling. I've gone back and watched some more Auburn stuff where it was more not as easy to replicate, let's say. And you do see the off-script stuff. You do see the ability to throw it with some accuracy and power on the move, or, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Off
him at
platform.
Auburn was just him running around playing backyard football.
Yeah.
For
We had-
sure. So he's got those high-end traits. It's just how high-end.
Exactly. To me, like, it's just the dropping back and sitting in the pocket and hitting receivers that I don't see. Like, he's got all the quick game stuff, but it's the 5-step drop, 7-step drop, or even like drops don't really happen anymore, but
Yeah.
the shotgun sit, waiting for things to develop, reading what's happening. I just don't see that. Like, the quick game is awesome, but if you're JJ McCarthy and you can't hit all those slants, like, there's something wrong with you, you know? Or like the out of the pocket stuff, that actually is, I think, a plus skill. Like, that is something that would excite you if you draft him, but I think you're just missing. You don't have enough of the meat and potatoes.
When he was at Auburn, I mean, he was playing. That's like the most replicable stuff to the NFL in terms of the defensive line talent, the type of defensive schemes he was seeing. And I'll give him. I mean, Auburn back then was kind of a shit show. Let's be honest. Like, in his last year,
They upset Alabama with him there at the
Yeah.
helm as a freshman.
but it's kind of why he left. I mean, they were going through regime changes. You know, he felt kind of maxed out there, I'd assume. But I think a lot of the reason why he was running around, one, the offensive line wasn't great, but two, he was facing a lot of NFL level talent on the defensive line. And when his clock was sped up, he was more prone to making these decisions that weren't completely erased at Oregon, by the way. He still had them every now and then where it's like, what are you doing? But he did have more time, more space to work with in Oregon in the Pac-12.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lesser offense for sure. I think there's an intriguing marriage of the off-platform dual threat ability and having that confidence operating. I do think you see him operating from within the pocket and
I think there's
making
a lot of
those
quick
timing
game.
throws. And
Huh.
yeah, no, but I mean, watch the Utah and Oregon State stuff. He's staying in the pocket and like manipulating the pocket, staying in there and making accurate
Okay.
throws off platform and stuff like that to make it work. He's going to be real interesting. If he was just a little bigger, I think you could really pound the table and believe in some of that raw potential a little more.
I think that's a fair point.
more.
Give him Drake May's frame. It feels a little bit more like, all right, like,
Yeah, no, he's that
Yeah.
close to being Will Levis, basically.
Yeah.
He's that close. I just think it's going to be hard with that. So we come back to the 11th pick. And what do the Giants do, who also might be looking to move up with you guys? You know,
I say offensive line,
Fuaga would be my vote.
Fuaga or Furtado.
what about Fashanu?
I mean, they do have an undrafted guy, I guess, starting over Evan Neal at right tackle now. So
Shout out to Evan Neal.
Shout out to undrafted guys.
I don't know. I just feel like Fuaga or Furtado give you more versatility. And they could figure, you know, we're just going to take the best offensive linemen, put them at any position that we think needs help, whether it's tackle, guard, whatever it is.
Fuaga, especially if they had Barkley, feels like such. All right, we're just gonna run behind this dude 20
Right.
times a game. What is the Giants' offensive identity right now? Post Saquon, trying to see if like DJ is the guy.
Dable's not. Yeah, Dable hasn't really been able to make that imprint yet either.
Dable isn't Dable.
Yeah, it's rough there.
It is rough.
It's rough. So are we split on offensive tackle, but we all agree it's an offensive tackle?
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you the tiebreaker, Henry?
I said Fuaga, but
Okay, Fuaga it is. Beautiful.
Oh, okay, cool.
Tone setter out of Oregon State. Really nice pick. Kind of an upset that he'd be offensive tackle too. Look, if it falls this way, I think the Broncos try to trade down. And I also tell you, the best pick right here would be Olu Fashanu.
Huh.
No doubt about it.
So what do you do with him? You just sit him for the year?
I mean, you could flip Garrett Bowles the very next day.
Oh, okay. So you trade Bulls? Yeah.
Nice little cap saving.
Yeah, I guess in that world, you're running Stidham out there. Like, you're kind of in tank mode at that point. So if a rookie tackle's getting quarterback killed, it's not that big of a deal.
I mean, it's just like, how about to start things off right, we get a blue chip left tackle that could start for 10 years and remind scouts of Ryan Clady.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe we could start by building this team up with good football players.
Yeah.
It kind of
A
feels like
novel
what
concept.
You could if you
what
want.
turned things around for the Lions, right? Like, they
Definitely.
just got Penei Sewell.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're crazy. But if the Broncos draft a tackle in the first round, there will not be many happy Bronco fans.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it'd be tough.
I'd be for it.
It'd
That
be
means
tough.
we're
Yeah.
riding with Stidham.
That's what you want. Oh, you just want Shador.
I mean, frankly,
mean-
it's why I think trading down's the better option.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would trade down over.
I think there's a chance you
yeah.
still get Amarius Mims and
Definitely.
could maybe still get Bo Nix or Michael Penix.
Definitely.
That's the best of two worlds. Also, I don't think O-tackle is necessarily the biggest need. But I don't think Fashanu
Who's
is
in
going
the
to be
trade
the pick
down
in this,
range, though?
in this mock.
Someone who'd want to tackle, I guess.
For
Yeah.
starters, that's someone who wants to tackle. Seattle could be that. Cincinnati could be that.
I was gonna say Cincy at 18
Yeah.
feels very in play for a receiver or a tackle, especially depending on what happens with T. Higgins.
Are the Bills, who just added draft capital and got rid of Stephon Diggs, that hungry to jump up ahead of the Steelers, the Saints, the Colts to get their wide receiver that they could be a trade-up candidate?
For sure.
28 to 11 is a pretty big jump.
It's a big jump. It's the kind of jump I'd like.
It's the kind of jump.
That's what I would do, yeah.
It's the kind of jump a desperate team who's been knocking on the door of winning titles and is kind of feeling it would do.
Yeah, and I mean, what about teams in kind of more desperate window? The Jags are like, shit, we could get our corner right now if we move up from 18. He's
Yeah.
right there for us, man.
It does feel like Quinyon Mitchell has become kind of far and away the number one guy.
BPA, you mean, at this position?
Yeah. at
Again,
the
for me, it'd be
position.
Fashanu.
Called that
I
one.
mean, at cornerback.
Oh,
Like, if you want a
yeah,
cornerback,
yes.
it's Quinyon Mitchell or
Yes, for the most
everybody
part.
else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, your G5 brethren doing their thing. Okay, Broncos.
Trading back.
No, each
Oh, we're
give me a
picking?
pick here at 12. Or a scenario if you think trade back is the
I
pick
mean,
here.
that'd be what I'd like.
Yeah.
But of these players here, I'd take Leatu Latu.
UCLA edge rusher.
I'd take Quinyon. I think I would want to trade down if I could, but I'd take Quinyon if I stayed.
I would take Fashanu.
Yeah.
I also think I think trading down
I'd
is
take
the move.
Fashanu
If you're
as well.
not if you're not landing a top 5 guy that slips, or you're not landing a quarterback, then just try and get as many of these key pieces as you can.
No, 100%. And I mean, regardless of the quarterback, I just think at a certain point you need to reload on draft capital.
Yeah.
Or this just
Yeah.
isn't going to get back on track here.
Yeah.
Any worries about Latu's next stuff?
Nope.
I haven't seen as much of late about it. It seems
No.
like that was like a 2-week thing, and
Nope.
then everyone just kind of chilled.
I've seen the tape.
I also think he is the second best
Of the
edge.
neck
He's a
exam.
really good. I remember
Yeah.
when we were talking about that, and all the injury stuff came out, and everybody's kind of like, "Oh, I don't know." I was like, "I don't know, man. He's also just a really good fucking football player."
Exactly. I think he's got the best combination of like bends, like arsenal of pass rush moves, speed to power, like at edge rusher this year. I think you can argue Dallas Turner is maybe close and is probably the better athlete, but
Definitely.
I think that Latu, what he's shown in college, I think for a team who's needing pass rush production, that's the type of guy you'd want.
Most surprising pick if the Broncos stayed at 12 and this scenario played out. Most surprising realistic pick. Obviously, like I could say Condoleezza Rice or something. I don't
That
know.
would be insane.
That'd be nuts.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, Henry, you think they'll lose
Damn.
their shit if they
I know.
draft an
So what,
offensive
the
tackle?
big need right now is probably at center, so that's where you line her up.
Whoa.
What about wide receiver?
I was gonna say I think Brian Thomas Jr. would be like
That would be, yeah.
something like that.
Because that would be, I think, kind of a reach for him too. But
I agree.
Like receivers, also just a little bit of
Well, we
No,
have
I
the
guess
top
you could
3 off
draft
at
one.
this point, so he's kind of in that 4-ish
Right.
range.
I mean, I would have considered him for the Giants at 11, frankly. So,
yeah.
surprising, but not that crazy surprising.
yeah.
Byron Murphy.
I'd get behind that. It wouldn't take long for me to
I
get
could
behind
talk
that pick.
myself into it,
Yeah.
but I think it
Yeah.
would be surprising.
The defensive tackle out
Yeah.
of Texas. I was
Yeah.
very early on that.
I mean, I could talk myself into him or Newton at Illinois, to be honest.
Yeah.
Johnny Newton, the other defensive tackle.
Ooh,
Did
Chop
you give me a-
Robinson.
Dude.
That would be a surprising
be
one.
lit.
But he feels like the kind of guy who
Chop's
like
sick.
you could like. It would be crazy, but I think it's possible. If they do go edge, I'd probably go verse.
None of these picks feel like that. Like, oh my god, this
Exactly.
would
Yeah,
just-
exactly.
Exactly.
So the answer's trade back then.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
The answer's trade back, guys.
because all these
Yeah.
guys, like they're gonna be so many still there at 18 or 20
Yeah.
or 22.
Are
like,
we
unless
finding
Bowers
though,
is
the
there.
Broncos are in the spot where it's like least likely to have appeal to trade back? Like if you trade back, you're trading back for like 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh yeah, I mean, what if you trade to 18? What are you getting? Like a third round pick, third round pick probably.
Sounds good though.
Better than not having a third round pick.
Okay, let's play this out now. This is the rest of the mock. Jags go up to 12. They take Quinyon Mitchell, right?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Raiders at 13. Want to give him a right tackle? Give him
Penix?
J.C. Latham?
Oh, okay, Latham. I
Is
like
Penix the vibe?
I like Penix there.
Shit, but isn't that high?
I mean, there was one mock draft from anybody who came
feel
out
like
today,
that's
and it was
right
Penix
in-
at 13. Yeah.
That's like
Penix-
where you can start to talk about him. I
Yeah.
think with the injury stuff.
I'd also wouldn't be upset if the Broncos took him at 12.
That would be
No,
my pick.
Me neither, but I think the consensus is that's a little high.
It used to be. I mean, again,
that
there's-
was in a pre 446 world,
there-
Henry.
yeah,
We're in a post
that's when a
446
lot of
world now.
that's when a lot of the hype changed. No, literally, there was one mock draft that
I like
came out
it.
today. Chris Trapasso from CBS Sports.
Dude,
It was 13 of the
shouts to
Raiders.
him, right?
Yeah, no. At 12, I should say Penix would be my pick.
kind of feel like Penix is either going to go top 15 or he's going to fall out of the first round.
Yeah.
Damn it, all you guys. Okay, fine. Penix at 13.
There we go.
We're
I love
doing
that.
it.
Hate it, but love
14,
it.
New Orleans. I feel like they're a sneaky quarterback team too, but give them a tackle. Give them Fashanu. It is
Yeah.
their biggest need.
Yeah.
Colts, it's wide receiver, it's corner, it's tight end, it's edge. Go edge, a little Jared Verse. Feels very Coltsy, right?
Yeah.
Does
okay.
feel Coltsy.
Seahawks, O-line help, edge help, dealer's choice.
They could be in quarterback conversation too.
Yeah. Bo Nix.
I was going to say they could be Bo Nixie.
Don't do this to me.
Honestly, they feel more Penixy than Nixie, but Penix is gone.
I'm going to keep them with a West Coast prospect, Fatanu or Latu.
Ooh.
Latu.
Okay.
Latu.
Let's do it.
Latu it is.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah.
And it's the Broncos at 17. Penix is gone. Verse is gone. Latu's gone. Fashanu's gone, we said?
Yep. I'd trade
Who
down.
would the Broncos
Is
trade?
Mitchell gone? Is
would trade-
Quinyon Mitchell
yeah.
gone? Yeah, he's
That's
gone.
what I'd trade up for.
Yep.
I'd go Terry and Arnold.
It's still looking at these DTs, Johnny Newton or Murphy, I think I'd like there.
Murphy at that point's pretty intriguing,
True.
especially with how much Denver struggled to stop the run last year.
I know, but he's undersized. He's
know, but
really
I like
more
the way he
like creating
plays.
pressure up the middle than like stopping the run, right?
I think he could do it though.
Yeah. I mean, in a rotational role. Is he a good 5 tech?
He's only 21. He's going to grow into his body a little
Okay.
more, too.
Cooper DeJean.
I love this fucking guy.
I'm just saying.
Cooper DeJean.
Oh,
That's the most fun pick.
I love it. I love it.
Could you trade
Talk
down
to
again though
me.
and still get him in like the early to mid 20s?
Well, if you couldn't, then like you
Guess what, Buster? We're playing out that exact scenario in a second.
You still got Terry and Arnold and Nate Wiggins there too. So if you miss him, you miss him.
Good point.
Go get a
Another-
receiver at that point.
Yeah, this one's for you. 346 right here.
Wait.
But dial in
Oh,
if they
no.
traded back.
Whoa, what is? Commas are your friend. Crazo 3. No Penix, please. Or no Penix, please. No Penix, please. Or no Penix, please.
please.
Like he doesn't want it.
Oh no, that would be no, or that would be no Penix, please. Not
Right.
no Penix, please.
Huh.
And there's your grammar lesson for the day.
Crazo 3, let us
comment if you
know.
want-
Okay,
yeah,
we'd love that clarity. Shit, who do I want at 17? You guys all gave me really good choices. I hate them all. Why do I keep... I'm obsessed with O-line in this. I'll go Cooper DeJean. That was a really fun one. I like flying the coop. Okay,
Too early for Jackson Powers Johnson.
so... Fuck yeah. It is.
Fuck yeah.
But it's like...
Wait, do
Right,
you mean
right.
fuck yeah?
Fuck, comma,
Or-
yeah, it is
okay,
too early.
Not fuck yeah.
Right, not
okay.
fuck yeah. Okay. Guess what though?
What?
The Broncos are at 17. John, for some reason, Elway called Cooper DeJean already. Sean's like, what the hell's Elway doing on the phone?
He doesn't
We
work here
just
anymore.
traded down with the Bills at 28. They
Oh, wow.
wanted that wide receiver.
Well, wait, the Broncos traded down to 28?
They traded down to 28.
Oh my goodness,
Henry.
I love it.
That's right. At 17, the Bills take.
Brian Thomas
Gotta
Jr.
be. Gotta be.
We
Gotta be.
we
Brian
managed
Thomas.
to not give him shit. Did I give him to Indy at 15 already?
No,
No,
Jared
that was Jared
Verse.
Verse. That's why Bills felt lucky they traded
Bills
up.
at 17. Take Ryan Thomas. This is playing out exactly as I planned it. At 18, the Bengals take that right tackle they need so much, J.C. Latham.
Wow.
At 19, the Rams take Byron Murphy because he's still on the board.
Jerzon Newton? No, it's gotta be Byron Murphy.
It's got to be Murphy.
Had Murphy gone earlier, Johnny Newton
Yeah.
would be the pick here, correct?
Yeah.
At 20, the Steelers take. We're going to O-line, we're going to Marius Mims.
Ooh, I
Not
like
Cooper
that.
DeJean.
Cooper
That zone,
is still
zone
available.
blitz defense. Terry and Arnold there too.
I could see a corner here.
Yeah, screw it. Yeah, they say we're taking Cooper DeJean. We want
They could use
if
some
Russ
speed.
gets killed, we don't give a shit.
It's gonna be Justin.
Justin's ready.
It's gonna be Justin.
Wow.
That's fine.
Wow.
We're not even going to engage. Miami at 21. Johnny New? Johnny New?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Philly at 22. Who's our CB2?
Terry and Arnold.
Terry and
Terry
Arnold.
It is, fellas.
A little CJ Gardner Johnson-y too, if they want to throw it back. Just a little.
Right. Yep. That's a good comp. At 23, the Giants from the trade down they did with the Vikings. Remember,
Yes.
they already took a they took an O-lineman, Fuaga. They got Fuaga'd up. This is where they get their wide receiver.
Or Chop Robinson.
Or they'd move on from Adoree Jackson. Nate Wiggins, maybe? Adoree Jackson left, right? I'm not
Deontay
crazy about
Banks?
that. Still have him, yeah.
I like
Okay.
Nate Wiggins here. Nate Wiggins it is.
Oh.
At 23 to the G-men, we have another NFC East team. It's the Cowboys at 24. JPJ, Tyler Guyton. So O-line's what we're thinking here for the
Yeah.
boys.
Fatanu's still there,
Fatanu's
right?
still there too. Yeah.
Oh,
I think they're taking Fatanu.
Fatanu all the way. That was stupid. Okay, 25. 25. The Packers really need a tackle, and that's where I'd go Guyton.
Guyton or Morgan, but I like Guyton's
Not
length
Mims,
better.
yeah.
Yeah, samesies.
Not Mims.
A Mims we
Mims
had
already went.
go
Oh, did we?
higher to the Dolphins, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Tampa Bay 26. They need edge. They need corner. Good value at either. Best
Oh.
edge remaining is Chop.
I would say so.
I had Jerzon Newton to the Dolphins.
That's what I had too.
Good call. So then Mims could go there to the Packers. Guyton's still available. Tampa Bay takes Chop Robinson. Arizona at 27, and the Broncos are on the board in just one pick. Arizona has already taken their man in Marvin Mims. Corner, edge, O-line, D-line,
Marvin
all
Harrison
in play.
Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
not
Mims.
Marvin Mims. No, that wouldn't make sense.
That
Thank you.
wouldn't
Good
make sense,
correction.
would it?
Arizona, I mean, give him Nate. Is Nate Wiggins still available? I'm sorry.
No,
we took him.
our Giants.
So then we would go edge. Do we have a clear edge left on the board?
We
Give me
do have-
cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Okay.
And the Broncos are back on the board
Oh, the Bama boy.
at
Okay.
28.
Okay, now this feels Bo Nixie, which I hate,
It does feel Bo Nixie.
but it feels Bo Nixie.
We're
It
also
feels
are we in
Bo-Nixie.
JPJ range too?
We are certainly in JPJ range.
Yep, we
range.
are big time in JPJ range.
Peyton Wilson range?
Guyton's still available, right?
Yes.
Peyton Wilson would be a crazy pick. Top wide receivers, Adonai Mitchell, Troy Franklin, guys like that still would be available, which would be very intriguing.
Xavier Legette.
Did Newton go?
Yes.
Yes.
Xavier Legette, right. That next tier of wide receivers, that next tier of offensive tackles as well. Kingsley Sumatia, Jordan Morgan would be intriguing. Graham Barton, Tyler Guyton, those kinds of guys. The group is giving me a vibe we are much less excited by the options from this last trade down.
Yeah.
But we have accomplished trading down twice.
Yes.
And Bo Nix is still available. No one's going to riot in Henry's mentions if that happens.
Marius Mims is still available
there'll
too,
be
right?
people will do that too.
Amarius Mims, he went already.
Packers.
But Tyler Guyton's still available.
Oh, Tyler
yes.
Guyton is.
Yes.
Yes.
And I mean, at what point are you thinking, like, let's just snipe the wide receiver so he doesn't go to the Chiefs?
True.
Who's your first pick as far as sniping wide receivers who would be great with the Chiefs?
Xavier Legette. Big old rack boy.
Him or Adonai Mitchell. Yep.
I think Adonai Mitchell does sound like a Chiefs guy.
This isn't typical Chiefs, but I feel like McConkey with the Chiefs is scary to me.
Ooh.
Especially
Just give him a
as-
possession or like he's never had that Wes Welker that Brady always had or Manning always had he's just gonna get 1,200 yards, 90 something catches. He's not gonna torch it, but he's always gonna be open. Just give him a guy that understands like how to use space, especially when it's out of structure. Like it's a little rich the late first round, but
Kelsey's always been that guy, but he's getting
older. Like,
yeah.
Some people do have that lad in there. Also, this starts to become Jatavian Sanders.
that was where I was gonna
boys.
go with it next.
Man, the
Denver
grants
can't
from my
afford.
lad
We can't
play.
take him though. Like as much as we all love him, Sanders.
Yeah.
You think that's that
I'm not
crazy?
taking Sanders here. I mean, if we're throwing Jackson Powers Johnson out there, then maybe,
I feel like
We're
that's the
talking
most
center,
Sean
too.
Payton thing to do. Just take the best offensive lineman there. If it's Guyton, if it's JPJ, if it's
they
Barton.
do draft interior guys too, or he has in the past.
Yes.
It's not all tackles.
JPJ, Graham Barton, the top interior guys still available.
Yeah.
Also, you've
You
traded
might be
down
getting
twice,
You might be getting an All Pro at 28 or whatever at that point in JPJ.
right?
You might be.
Yeah. I mean, look, Darius Robinson's still around.
Love that guy.
Any of the, what about a Brandon Fisk, an interior D lineman like that? Tavondre Sweat, we're out on him after being.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris Jenkins could be another guy.
Yeah.
It's a little rich for me.
I think I'd go Xavier Legette. I think Bo Nix is obviously a real consideration, but I think add a weapon. See if it solves your problems.
Legette or Mitchell.
Yeah.
If you're not going offensive line, that's what I would do.
I would go JPJ. I think he's just the best player available.
That's fair. JPJ would probably be my number 2.
Yeah, it's a shame that Wiggins, Coop, Arnold all went before this pick.
It is.
That could have been nice value, and I just think it's too rich to take one of these safeties
Yep.
at this point. I know it's been maybe mentioned in passing, but this is where off-ball linebacker you threw out Peyton Wilson
Yeah. He's a dog.
becomes intriguing-esque.
Is this the point where you just trade your pick for a first rounder next year from like a kind of mid to bad team?
100. If that's on the table, 1,000%.
Yeah, I would just
you do
trade
that.
down again if you could.
1,000% you do it. 1,000% you do that.
Yeah.
That's the scenarios.
Yeah, maybe the Seahawks. Yeah, I don't know.
I'd say the most likely pick in Sean Payton's eyes in this situation is one of the interior offensive linemen.
Also Bo Nix.
I'd hope not.
I also hope not, but
Bo
I do
Nix as your Taysom Hill this year, Shador Sanders
Oh
as
my
your Drew Brees
God.
next year.
think
Don't even.
What a plan.
imagine
I love that.
drafting Taysom Hill in the first round.
Oh Lord.
Most likely pick, and with the pick you tell me most likely stay put, trade up, trade down. Henry, just start because you're going trade up, and what's the
Wait,
quarterback?
most likely or mine?
Most likely pick, and with your pick you also tell me if it's most likely they trade up, trade down, or stay put.
I'll say here it's Jackson Powers Johnson.
I'm
draft?
saying yeah.
Oh, in the actual, like, from 12, I say you trade up, and it's, I'll say trade up from McCarthy. Stay put for Bo Nix is a close second, though.
Wow.
Yep.
I think you trade down and you take an offensive lineman or a cornerback. But what I would like to do is trade down and land Penix.
Also, for what it's worth, Saints haven't traded down since 2007. Not even first round, but just like
Lots
all.
of trade ups though.
Yes.
over and over again.
I say trade down. Bo Nix is most likely. Maybe out of the first altogether. Maybe the Giants make that trade we prognosticated, and then you're trading into their early second. Since they're like, shit, we
Yeah.
have too many picks as is.
I'd lean that they trade down from 12 too.
And they take? It's prediction time.
And they take Michael Penix.
Bang!
Ah.
Great show, fellas.
Wait,
Great
I
show.
thought we were going through 32.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We
Sure.
went
I
through-
mean,
we
the
went
Broncos
through-
picks are done.
Yeah.
The
Wait, who'd we give the Broncos?
JPJ?
JPJ, okay.
Yeah, that works. Graham
Lions.
Barton may be a better pick. Lions. Corner, D-line, an edge opposite Hutch, but
I
I
do
don't
like
know.
Darius Robinson a lot.
Darius Robinson actually sounds like a lit pick.
Yeah.
Kind of hits two needs, interior D-line and edge. Okay. we
I
did
think
it?
Robinson would go ahead of him, but I will say that Mo Camara feels like a Dan Campbell player if there ever has been one. Just a relentless edge rusher.
I think you could get
He's
him at the end
gambly.
of the second.
I do too, but
Maybe
Baltimore. Sorry?
A safety? Nothing. I would just be extending this pick here.
Right tackle, Baltimore as their biggest need. Tyler Guyton's still available.
book it.
Yep.
San Francisco also in need of an offensive tackle, in part because McGlinchey left for Denver. What if you gave him a Jordan Morgan? He's such a great zone blocking fit.
I like him
Yeah.
because if nothing else, you can put him at guard and he's going to work out in that Shanahan system.
This is where giving JPJ to the Broncos at 28 and not Xavier Legette, which we ended up being the kind of the split, screws you for KC at 32. But KC, lots of great wide receivers left for them. Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Legette, and Troy Franklin, just to mention a few. Yak God, Malachi Corley, also still available. I just draft him at 12, frankly.
Or the Chiefs could do the. We need to replace Tyreek Hill and get Xavier Worthy.
Xavier Worthy, yep.
I hope
kind of
so.
love that.
I hope,
pick.
that's,
I
I
hope so
hope
too.
that's the player they
Yes.
choose to take.
Me too.
I kind of love that pick, frankly. offensive tackle, maybe another corner. Maybe
I think
Jatavion
you have to go
Sanders.
receiver, especially with the
your
potential
pick?
Rashee Rice situation. Like,
Yeah, I agree completely.
you just, or I do like Sanders. Like, I mean, you just need a pass catcher.
I think it's Troy Franklin.
I think it's
Donnie
Troy
Mitchell
Franklin.
scares the shit out of me to them, though.
I think Troy
Franklin does feel like a speedster, just burn over the top.
it's a
He's
fantastic
an underrated route runner.
It's a fantastic
Give him
fit.
Franklin.
We did it in an hour. All 32 picks.
Wow.
Ran you through all those scenarios. Gave you some bets and props. And I bet you do the tally. Over 7.5 Pac-12 prospects. Also hit, baby. Bang. That's how you do it. Thank you to Raising Cane's for bringing this here. Thanks for Yaya being on the sticks. And, of course, to my draft pod brethren. Again, bonus pod tomorrow. We're mocking rounds 1 through 7 Broncos picks. Cannot wait. Gonna be lit. Until then, bye.
We all silly like the mayor.